Lord Brahma explains that these other processes of austerity, of yoga, of jnana, very, very troublesome, very difficult to attain anything through these processes. And it is impossible to reach God through these processes. Krishna explains Gita, Bhaktosi me shakacheti rahasyam hetad uttamam. It is only by my mercy, it is only by my personal revealing of myself to my devotee that one can understand me as I am. The example that is often given by the great sadhus is that you cannot force the sun to rise. In the middle of the night, you can do all sorts of pujas, and you can chant all sorts of mantras to Vivaswan Surya, and you can fast all night long, but the sun will not rise on the basis of anything you do. The sun will rise according to its own accord. In the same way, realization of Krishna is like the rising of the sun in the horizon of our hearts. And only when Krishna, by his own sweet will, decides to reveal himself, can we understand the absolute truth. There's no other way and there's no other time. And Krishna explains in Gita, Ye yatamam prapadyante tam stathaiva bhajamyaham mama vart manuvartante manusya parata saravashaha. That as you surrender to me, I reveal myself accordingly. He doesn't say, as you give up eating, or as you give up sleeping, or as you learn the scripture very, very profoundly. He says, as you surrender to me. And what does it mean to surrender to Krishna? It means to be humble and accept the will of Krishna, to become his servant. And whatever Krishna wants, we do. This was Arjuna's perfection, simply because he was willing to do the will of Krishna and always remember Krishna. He attained the supreme perfection of life. Of course, there is a story in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the previous life of Narada Muni, when he was the son of a maidservant. At that time, he was so anxious for self-realization. And by the mercy of the Lord, he was given the association of great devotees. And these devotees blessed him. Why did they bless him? Because he served them with great sincerity. He would serve them prasad, he would clean up after them, he would bring them water. Menial servant. But it seems like a very low service, but because it was so pleasing and charming to these great devotees, he was given the highest position because of it. You see, there is a great illusion. We think that particular activities, some are high and some are low. But high and low really is based on the result that we gain from doing it. It's not so much a question of what we're doing, it's a question what we will get in return. Just like in business, you know, if you do something and you get tremendous profits from it, you consider that's very high business. And if you don't get anything, you think it's quite useless, actually. So, actually, he was doing the highest thing by washing their plates, by sweeping the ground for them to make it nice, by bringing them water. Because by doing that, he was getting the blessings of sadhus. The result was that blessing was the highest treasure, which was opening the doors to the highest realizations. So therefore, what he was doing materially was the lowest, but spiritually was the highest. Whatever pleases Krishna's devotees is the highest. Devotee isn't concerned with this position or that position, or this service or that service. He's only concerned with pleasing the Vaishnavas. If it pleases the Vaishnavas that we give philosophical lectures, then that is the highest. If it pleases the Vaishnavas to water the Tulasi plant, that is the highest. And if it pleases the Vaishnavas to wash the temple floor in the morning, that is the highest. So this little child, he understood, at least to some extent, that by getting the favor of these great devotees of the Lord, there is no greater fortune than that. And because of the blessings of these great Vaishnavas, within his heart was awakened the sincere desire for self-realization and the determination to do anything for it. It didn't come by himself. It came by the blessings of these great souls.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on The Sacred Connect. Droplets.com.